Well, I had a gorgeous lunch of I suppose you'd call it peasant food. Some of those lovely lentils that I was boiling up, and some boiled potatoes in their skins, and some finely chopped tomatoes through it, and a very light dash of sweet chilli sauce. Oh, beautiful. So then I felt quite buoyed up then, quite fired up to go and start work on the tunnel. I'm a wee bit out of breath because I've literally just come across, grabbed the camera and come back. Now, where do you see the huge difference that washing the polytunnel makes? And this is why this plastic is now in its, I think, 14th year or 15th year. Look at that. So you know the plastic, well, a lot of people say that the plastic degrades and loses its transparency and becomes quite opaque. Well, if you look at, say, the end of the tunnel there that hasn't been washed, that plastic looks opaque. But it's only because of the algae growth on it. So I try to wash the tunnel twice a year, and you can see the huge difference it makes. So the plastic once again becomes quite transparent, almost as good as the day it was put on. So I'll just go inside. Of course I'm quite wet because what I do, first of all, just use the ordinary water, just, the spring water, and put in some washing up liquid. Any brand will do. But if you can get one that's antibacterial, that's really good, because what you're trying to kill off is the algae. And then just wash, and then I get a couple of little jugs, and I just kind of throw the water up over the top of the tunnel just to wash the suds off. So this bit I've done on the outside and the inside, and you can see the remarkable difference. Well, you can actually see in now. And I've done this little bit here as well on the end. So look at that, isn't that amazing? And if you can compare that to there, so I'll just do a 180-degree thing, okay? So this is looking out. Look, the transparency's come back. And then 180 degrees, so you can see. That's why it's important to wash the tunnel inside and out. And there is no reason why the plastic, if it's been put on tightly in the first instance, won't last you for, well, I'm thinking quite possibly maybe even 20 years, this. Because this, as I say, is this is year 15 of the Bealtaine project. It'll be 15 years in May. And I got this tunnel put up, I think, a year after I started it, or maybe it was 9 months. But anyway, somewhere between 14 and 15 years old this plastic is. The same plastic. And those of you who are interested in, the type of plastic, because a lot of people thought that this was a special plastic. It's not. There was 3 different plastics on offer from the company. It was just a company in the UK. So it was posted to me. 3 different plastics on offer, obviously 3 different prices. So you had the cheapest, and then the middle price, and then the dearest, or the most expensive. I got the middle price, which I think was 6mm. I can't be certain on that, but it was just the middling priced one, which is what I've always tried to do, unless I was completely broke, and then it was like the cheapest. But when it comes to something like the tunnel plastic, it was the middling price one at that point. So there you can see the stark difference just on those 2 sides. Look. So this is the beginning now of getting the tunnel prepped up and ready for spring and summer. Like I say, I'm not going to be growing anything in it other than the trees and the shrubs, but I may put some herbs in, because the herbs have done okay, because they can actually manage to go for 4 to 6 weeks without water, and it doesn't seem to affect them too badly. But as for growing crops in here, the summers now are very hot, very dry. I only have a spring well, and I cannot use that to water the tunnel with. So anyway, there you go. Just thought I'd share that with you, because it's well worth seeing the actual evidence in front of your eyes, you know. As I always say, there are people who talk and people who walk. I always prefer the people who walk, because they're speaking from experience. Let me see if there's any more possible questions that you may ask that I can answer now, because I never have the time to answer questions in the comment section. Let me see. I think I've covered everything, haven't I? There are videos up about how the tunnel was constructed. There are also blogs on the website. So just use the search engine that you have and enter the keywords followed by Bealtaine Cottage, and your query should be answered in the form of a video or a blog. Not too happy about the sound of gunshot from over that direction. It's obviously someone who is firing at some poor creature. Least said the better. Okay, so I best crack on with this now that I'm fueled up with all that lovely peasant food. And remember, you are what you eat. Because if I'd have gone in for lunch there and had a typical lunch, you know, a meaty lunch with eggs and dairy and stuff, I'd be laid out on the sofa now, unable to move. But there is a reason why it's called peasant food. Well, there's several reasons. One is that it's just very basic and it's plant-based, because usually the lord of the manor took all the animals and all the dairy and everything else and left the peasants to eat from the earth. And the other reason is that peasants couldn't afford to be laid about on sofas, holding their stomachs after a big meal. So, there you go. Blessings to you all.